This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves, and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and blessing be multiplied on all you brethren pushing this word in all sincerity and in truth, to the hope for the elect, 144,000, and the rest of the men, women, and children that will receive mercy from the Lord in these last days. Shalom. I'm the brother Dama Agibar here with another lesson, Lord willing, to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. All right, as you can see, hey, the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, is gathering these nations, these heathens, for war. All right, you can see the latest stunt that Joe Biden pulled, by allowing Ukraine to use those, long range missiles, and to shoot deeper inside of Russia, is crossing a line that Putin has repeatedly said that if they use American made weapons, they give Ukraine the green light to use these American made weapons to shoot these long range missiles inside of Russia, that he's going to declare war on America. He's going to look at it as an act of war, an aggression from America, and also cause them to go to war with these EU nations. And all right. And this just might be, the one of the major moves that, Biden has made ultimately to push prophecy forward and to bring this prophecy in Joel, the 3rd chapter, to pass, man. All right. And this is something that, the men of the Lord, the Israelites, that we've been waiting for, and that we've been, praying, happens. Now, I'm not saying that, World War III, this is going to jump off immediately. And right now it's going to get to the point to where, this prophecy is going to be fully fulfilled. But we know that it's definitely going to push things into motion, because we know you got to have the mark of the beast first before this Third World War fully kicks off. But hey, this is a good indicator that we're moving in that right direction. And I want to show you this. This is what sparked this lesson. And this is an article from Zero Hedge saying millions of Swedes receive how to survive war booklet from government. Excuse me. You see, because hey, a lot of these EU nations, NATO and EU, hey, they're preparing for war, because they know ultimately, this is pretty much where they want to leave things before Donald Trump comes into office, is they want to continue to escalate and to push this war and escalate it, so that this war with Russia can fully escalate and goes exactly where it needs to go. All right. And they know that when Trump gets into office, that he's going to, support Israel no matter what they do. All right. They got him in their back pocket as well. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's all for prophecy to be fulfilled, man. All right. Because, hey, war is going to happen whether you people want to believe it or not. All right. Donald Trump is not going to stop this Third World War from happening. He's not going to bring peace to the Middle East, so-called Middle East. All right. Hey, these wars are going to escalate because it's ultimately the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right. And these Swedes, and I'm pretty sure other nations within NATO and the EU, are receiving these things booklet, because this is just the season and the times that we're in. All right. So let's read some of this article. It says, on Monday, the government of Sweden began issuing pamphlets advising its population on how to survive an unexpected, disastrous war scenario. At a moment, tensions are on edge with Russia. And after weekend reports saying the Biden administration has authorized Ukraine to conduct long-range missile strikes on Russian territory using U.S. supplied weapon systems, right? And that's something that Putin said would basically something that he would not tolerate. So who knows the type of retaliation and what Russia has up its sleeves as far as retaliation. It could attack one of these, EU nations, which, of course, we know once, Russia fully, goes into war, they're going to have to be at war with the EU. with the European Union and a lot of its allies, because a lot of the European Union members, they're supplying NATO with troops, with weapons, with, giving their backing to back Ukraine when, things go nuclear. You see? So it says millions of Swedes are receiving the directives entitled "In case of crisis of war." You see? Like the scripture tells you in Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, there's a time and place for everything under the sun. All right. There's a time of love and there's a time of war. And we're definitely in the time of war. All right. We're not in the time of peace and safety and, people relaxing and thinking that, things are going to go back to normal, that when Trump gets into office, that Russia and America are going to be on smooth terms. They're going to be able to settle down and talks and have negotiations. Hey, they're going to use Biden before he gets out of office in these last 2 months to really escalate that situation with Russia, because these elites want to have this war. What was it called? The Mussolini Pike plan. You see, and these elites, they're hell bent on getting that thing started. And I see them letting Biden, really heat things up before he has to bow out of the presidency and leave, the White House to Trump. So, hey, we definitely know that the crisis of war is going to be more and more imminent. It says, which is an updated version of something the Swedish government issued 6 years ago. But now things are very different, given there is a hot war in Eastern Europe and given Sweden is NATO's newest member state. It says it's all about being able to survive for a few days or a week and imagine something like a shock invasion by a foreign hostile power. You see, so that book is really, at the end of the day, is going to be pointless, especially when the nukes start flying, because there's no preparation you can have for a nuclear war. All right. If those nukes hitting where you're at, you're pretty much done. You're through. All right. But it just shows you, the temperature around the world. All right. We're in the season of war and chaos and hostility and sedition and uprising of the people, kingdom against kingdom, nation against nation, civil war, hostility, etc., man. All right. It says the newly updated booklet is said to be twice the size as the one that was issued in the last decade. The other new NATO member, Finland, has also issued its own guidelines to the Finnish population on preparing for incidents and crisis. You see, the warning document how to cope with not just wartime situations where basic services and infrastructure may go offline, but how to survive extreme weather events as well. You see, so at least they're trying to get their people prepared, because eventually they know that war is on the horizon, man. All right. These elites think that it's going according to their plan, that they're doing these things by their own will, by their own wisdom, their own knowledge, and that they're going to come out, the other end, with this new world order and, things where they want it to be. But it's ultimately it's all for prophecy to be fulfilled. And for these nations to go to war, and for Yahweh Shai and the holy angels to come back in the midst of this third world's war and put down all rule and dominion and the rule of these heathen nations, as prophecy says. So you see, so this is why we're so pumped and we're so, for this war escalating to where it needs to go, because we know that this war goes hand in hand with our salvation. And I'm going to show you that according to prophecy. And we know that Esau, Edom, and the Idumeans and Esau is going to be the main proponent involved in this war, and it's going to be, ultimately a judgment on all Esau, Edom, when the missiles fly and judgment comes down. It says we live in uncertain times. Armed conflicts are currently being waged in our corner of the world. Terrorism, cyber attacks, and disinformation campaigns are being used to undermine and influence us. The booklet's introduction section reads, yeah. Because like I said, a lot of this shit is being orchestrated by these elites, which is ultimately the left hand of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, you see. And this is why prophecy is the ultimate, is going to reign supreme. All right. Prophecy is what's going to always come to pass at the end of the day. And like I said, all these armed conflicts, these cyber attacks, these are all things that we know that these elites are going to use to further escalate these crises in this situation. But it's ultimately going to end up going the way that prophecy is going to say that it goes. All right. And it's going to be for the betterment and the kingdom of Israel to be established. It says, to resist these threats, we must stand united, If Sweden is attacked, everyone must do their part to defend Sweden's independence and our democracy. We build resilience every day, the pamphlet continues. You are part of Sweden's overall emergency preparedness. Yeah, that's more war propaganda, man. See? It says the booklet even addresses local collective preparedness, such as citizens banding together to form volunteer defense units and giving blood or giving classes on CPR and survival skills. And in case of Finland, its digital booklet states that the country, which shares a border with Russia, has always been prepared for the worst possible threat, which is war. You see? Look at this. It says Sweden is sending 5.2 million if crisis or war comes. Pamphlets to households urging people to stockpile food and water. The booklet, updated for modern threats, declares we will never give up. You see, so you can see the season. I mean, what's in the air. All right, and at least hey, these countries are getting prepared because they know, obviously they're being told something up top. They know, ultimately where this thing is going to head. They know that NATO and the EU are going to have to go to war with Russia. All right. And they're going to have to come to the defense of Israel against Russia, China, a lot of these BRICS nations. And hey, man, the water, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. All right, let me finish this. This is back in Joel 3:11. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. And Jehoshaphat is a Hebrew word which means Yahweh Shabbat. You see, so all of this war is all the plan of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, because this is where he is going to judge all of these heathens and these nations and their armies. And you see, and this is why in the kingdom of heaven, these nations are not going to learn war anymore, because, hey, this is the war to end all wars. And when Yahweh Shai cracks those clouds and come in the midst of this war and judge these nations and puts the beat down and the smack down on all of them, they're going to be subjugated under the kingdom of our Lord, under the throne of David, under the 12 tribes of Israel. And they're not going to learn war anymore. You see, so this war is necessary in order for the true righteous kingdom of our Lord to be established and for all these nations to be thrown down and subjugated, so that these type of scenarios don't need to happen anymore. All right, it says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is right. And what is the harvest? The end of the world, man. So this shows you that, hey, we're just about in that time for the harvest to take place, for these nations to be reaped, these nations to be thrown down, and Yahweh Shai to stand up triumphantly as King of Kings and Lord of Lords. It says, come, get you down, for the press is full, the flats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, is near in the valley of decision. See? This is the time that we're in. It says, the sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Yahweh also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But Yahweh will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. You see? So this war is very necessary in the Lord coming to establish, the throne of David, the king, the kingdom of our Lord. You see? And to avenge the Israelites from all of the hell, the captivity, and the beatdown that we had to suffer while being under all of these heathen nations. So this is why war is very necessary. This third world war is being prepared so that these things can come to pass. All right. And Esau, Edom to be judged fiercely. All right. And this is Isaiah 34:1. It says what? God's wrath against the nations. It says, come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let all the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies, you see? And this is why they're being gathered, like I just read in Joel, the 3rd chapter, in the valley of Jehoshaphat, so that the indignation or the righteous anger or the judgment of the Lord to come down upon these heathens and their armies. It says, he hath utterly destroyed them. He have delivered them to the slaughter. You see? So like I said earlier, the whole Pike Manzini, agenda, these elites thinking that they're in control of these wars and they're setting them up to, establish their new world order to, bring the world and the nations to their knees. It's all a pipe dream. This is the real reason why all of these nations are being gathered, so that the Lord can do what he has to do. It says, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved. And what's going to dissolve the heavens? The nuclear missiles, the weapon of the Lord's indignation. You see, this is why the Lord put the spirit on these nations to create all of these ICBM missiles, these all of their nuclear arsenal, these hypersonic missiles, which is ultimately to fulfill the judgment of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai upon these nations. It says, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, which that's that mushroom cloud, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, and that sword is these missiles. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. And who is Idumea? The Edomites. That's the Greek way of saying Edom, which is Idumea, which is the so-called white man. All right. And this is why the whole of America, modern day Basra, is going to be completely eviscerated, with the swords that are going to be bathed in heaven, which is the nuclear missiles. It says, the sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidney of rams. For Yahweh have a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea, you see, which is America. Like we told you, this is why the whole of America is going to be totally destroyed, and nobody's going to inhabit this place anymore. All right. But first, the Lord's going to get this third world war popped off. And the end result of it is going to be Basra, modern day Basra, America, being completely destroyed. The lake of fire. And you read about in the book of Revelations. It says, and the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. You see? We're going to be avenged. Hey, the slavery we had to serve here, all of the rape, robbery, the murder, us being held in bondage in this spiritual Egypt, America. Hey, it's going to be the vengeance of this place is going to eventually come down upon this place. It says, and the streams thereof shall turn into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. You see, this is talking about America. OK. It's going to be completely nuclearly annihilated, man. It says, and it shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste, and none shall pass through it forever and ever. You see, it's talking about America. This further proves that, Esau, Edom didn't get done away with in the Roman Jewish wars. Right. They still have this judgment to take. Look at this in the NLT. Verse 10, it says, this judgment on Edom will never end. You see, it says, the smoke of his burning will rise forever. The land will lie deserted from generation to generation. No one will live there anymore. It's just talking about America, man. It says, but the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it. The owl also and the raven shall dwell in it. And he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. You see? See, when the Lord is done with this place, you're not going to know where California started or where New York was. It's all going to be totally obliterated, man. It says, they shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and all her princes shall be nothing. And thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortresses thereof, and it shall be inhabitant of dragons and a court for owls. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl also shall rest there and find for herself a place of rest. You see? And this is ultimately what the Lord has prepared for Babylon the Great. And this is why this third world war is so important. And this is why you're going to see more of this. A lot of these nations receiving these pamphlets and these booklets, and they're going to start preparing themselves for this third world war, because we know ultimately, this is the goal of these elites, is to escalate this situation with Russia. But like I said, hey, it's all the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. It's all prophesied. All right. Let me read this last verse and I'm going to close it there. It says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. And what is the book of the Lord? The Bible. It says, none of these shall fail. What's that? The prophecies that are written, that are contained within the scriptures. Like what I read in Joel, the 3rd chapter, what I'm reading here in Isaiah, the 34th chapter. There's more in Revelation, the 19th chapter, when Yahweh Shai is coming back in the midst of this third world war. You can read it in the book of 2nd Ezra. When Yahweh Shai, how he's going to, come in the midst of this third world war, how these nations are going to be scared, but they're still going to fight. He's going to come up on that mountain, upon that chariot, and burn these armies and their soldiers and their, military. Nothing but the smell of smoke and burning. You see, these things are all prophesied, and none of these shall fail, because it's the word of the Most High. It says, none shall want her mate, for my mouth it have commanded, and his spirit it have gathered them. You see? So there's nothing that's going to stop, this third world war from commencing, because it's all the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And we're going to see more and more talk of this war escalating as the days go by, because this is ultimately the will of the Most High, and this is what he wants to, how he wants, Esau, Edom, demise to be brought into reality, So, hey, I'm gonna close it there. We're living in some very serious times, man, and and you Americans, you better be prepared too, because there is going to be a draft in this country. A lot of you men are going to get drafted into the front lines at the great meat grinder. All right, because they need souls, they need boots on the ground, and they need a lot of you Americans to go and fight for your so-called country, man. So with that, I'm gonna close it there. Lord willing, this is edifying. God praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai for putting the spirit in me to do this lesson. Lord willing, you are edified. Shalom.